Good morning, guys. Today is March 3rd, 2017, and we are basically just watching the markets again today. For past couple days, the markets have been a little weird, and due to that facts, I just didn't want to trade anything today or yesterday. I just feel like maybe market needs to kind of get back into the regular trading zone where things are moving. Strength is coming back into stocks, and right now a lot of the stocks are moving pre-market, and then once the markets are open, they'll move for a bit, or they'll make one leg up, and then they just don't have any follow through or any good 1 minute, 5 minute setups where they work properly. So just due to that fact, I'm taking it easy today and yesterday. I just didn't not feeling like making any trades until I see what things are starting to come back into the market, momentum's back, and things are moving the right way. So today, same thing. We're just gonna be watching some of this stuff and see what potential plays we can have. Basically what I'm thinking about doing is just basically canceling out the order. So I'm not going to be placing any order, but what I'll do is I'll put a price line, be like, what, if I was to get in, this would be the potential entry, and then I'll look for a move upwards to this, and this would be the potential exit. Just kind of like a paper trade sort of, but without taking any actual trade, just basically just hypothetical trades, I guess we can call them. So that's what I'm kind of focusing on doing today. I was watching ONCS. This was one of the only gappers that seemed to have some sort of headline out. So I was watching it for that. Just seeing how it acts, what it does. If it takes out this 169, we could have some room upwards towards 2. Basically we could open up some room towards 2. So that's what I'm watching this for. Maybe if it can take out this pre-market high 177, we could easily run up to 208. So but again, pre-market it looked weak, got up, and then it just kind of came back down, tried getting up, and now it opened below. So we'll just see what happens here as the markets progresses. Everything else you guys can see is in a bit red. MYOS kind of ran yesterday, but I don't know if it'll have any momentum today. As you guys can see, it had this initial momentum, and then it just downtrend. It faded off all morning, all yesterday, sorry. And then RNVA, just watching very pretty bad daily chart. Just kind of popped up, so I decided to put it on my list here. BASI is not doing much. It's a previous runner. I ran on. I tried playing this. If you guys remember, I bought 300 at 221. Ended up getting out at 212. Just couldn't run, and then it just kind of faded off. So potentially, if this candle, for example, does make a high, we could potentially see some momentum come in this, but chances of that I don't know, are pretty slim, just because there was a lot of selling pressure over here, and I just feel like if it does try to move up, people are just gonna be shorting it or selling into any pops. So don't see that. Dries looks like, oh no, Dries moved pre-market a little, but that's dropping as well. Dries is, it's something we just want to stay away from. It's very shitty. It's just a weird company. Let me pull up AUPH. That seems to be something that's kind of moving, or staying green at least. So AUPH, the pre-market high is 490. Potential break of that, right? Let me so potentially we can look to get in on the break of pre-market high, and look for the break of 5 would be ideal. Goal, look for the break of 5. 520, break of 520 would be the next target. So I'll just put that here, break of 520 area, and then it kind of opens up a bit of the room here, but I don't know if it's getting that far. So anyways, I'll just be kind of watching the markets today, guys. I'll bring the video back up if something exciting comes up or something exciting happens, and then we'll go from there. Alright guys, so RNVA is getting some volume here. Started picking up. It does have potential. It's just on the daily, I think it's been it has done a lot of reverse stock split, and due to that, it's if you look at the daily, it was trading at like 120 back in November, but that's obviously not true. It was just I think it's did a stock split, and it dropped. So there's a lot of room to cover, right, up to the 40s. Like if you go past this candle right here, 401, there's basically just room up to the 40s. But obviously it's not gonna get there, especially with the reverse stock split and stuff. And there's moving average in the 930s and then 194, so it's above its 20 moving average, but there's 50 moving average at 936. So it's not getting up there anytime soon. It possibly can. I'm not gonna say that. Look how low it is on RSI. That means it's just way too oversold. So people can definitely start buying this, and potentially be a couple days hold, and then like hold it for a couple days. It could be like a swing trade. It has potential. It has potential. Room to run, low float, so it can definitely pick up some momentum, that's for sure. A break of 250 could potentially be a good entry if it does on good volume. Breaks 250, runs up to 280s, 270s. If that breaks, then we have some room to the 3s, but we'll obviously we're not taking any trades on it right now. We just want to watch. We just want to see how it acts, what it does. There you go, new high. So now there's volume coming in. This candle has the highest volume right now, which is nice to see. That means there's still volume coming in. People are still jumping on, and I think this could be one of the stock that makes some major moves today. So we'll see what happens here. Keep it on watch. Alright guys, so just watching RNVA, seems to be getting some momentum, seems to be moving. Got up to 237, double top there, and now it's kind of pulling back. On the 5 minute, bit high. So keeping everything in mind, although there's some volume came in on the 1 minutes here, I still feel like it on the 5 minute it had this doji right here, and now it's just kind of hanging around there with the same top. So if the top doesn't get taken out here, potentially it needs more of a pullback, some consolidation before it can make a run towards high of day again. So we'll just be watching it for that. I don't think it has the potential right now. I think it needs a bit more consolidation, but again, I could be wrong. Just like in the markets, you never know what's going to happen next, and it's just better off if you don't try to predict it. If you just go based on what the information chart is giving you right now, and you base your prediction on that, and then you let the events fold or unfold how they were supposed to, right? So with this, my just thinking back on some of my plays recently, some of the mistakes I made, this to me, it's testing, there you go, just broke it. So this to me looks like before more traders do jump in. It might need some more consolidation. It might need to pull back a bit more. A cleaner 5-minute setup, a cleaner a 1-minute setup. We haven't really had a good clean 1-minute setup as well, although it's pulling back to its 9 EMA, building this trend, but it hasn't given us some sort of a good setup. I think one good 1-minute setup was just kind of around here before the volume came in the 220, and then push towards basically the high of day here. But as you guys can see, although it broke 237, it didn't get pushed. It didn't push as a strong stock would. Like usually a strong stock, when it breaks, it instantly jumps about 10 cents, 5 to 10 cents, hangs around there, then does a little low volume pullback, most likely to test that level, and if it holds that level, then that usually means it's a confirmation of a breakout, and then you can jump in for a move back to high of day and then potentially a newer high. So from what it looks like here, I still think on a 5-minute it needs a pullback. Obviously the stock is strong right now, so I mean a good clean 5-minute pullback can potentially give us what we want, give us a good entry, but we'll see what happens here. Alright guys, so RNVA, definitely something that is strong. It's moving, it's gaining momentum, and we're just watching. We're just on the sideline, being patient, just watching, just observing, see what's happening with the stock. Yesterday it had a news out. It's one of its medical center opened up, and I think because of that the stock is moving. Okay, so one reason I never jumped in or never, thought that this would be a play, just because, as I was saying earlier here, that I need some sort of a 5-minute pullback or something before the stock can move up. But it was definitely strong. It definitely had strength, and it just kept making higher highs, and it just kept moving. So again, sometimes the strong stock usually give you a very nice pullback, a very clean pullback, and this one just didn't really have that in it. I mean, earlier in the 1 minute here there was some good pullback opportunities, but the volume was very low, so it was just like jumping in, but you weren't sure if the volume was going to come in. Now obviously the volume has come in, but it's really high up. I mean, it's hitting 297. I feel like this stock though, let's look at the daily chart here. Let me just see the daily. So the stock is moving. I just want to see this part here. Let's see what happened here. So I mean, it had moved in the past, even gapped up. A break of 3 could potentially open up more room, so that's something we can keep an eye on. A break of 3 could potentially open up a room to like 4 or 5, or at least. So now it's pulling back, which is nice, but we don't want to just jump in. My computer is being a bit slow right now too, but we don't want to just jump into anything here. Okay, so we'll be back. I'll just keep an eye on it, see how this pullback looks. I'll definitely wait for a 5-minute pullback on it. It's not going to jump in on a 1 minute here. if I do trade. I don't think I'm going to, but if I do make a trade, it'll be based on a 5-minute setup. So keep an eye on it. So guys, AUPH came up as well. You know, kind of a bit choppy though in this area. It's just up down. It was kind of like a range bound, and then it broke through that through the pre-market high for 89, I think it was. Yeah, and then now it's in the 490s. But you know, some volume came in this as well. But I don't know if it's something, you know, especially after a big red day. I don't know if this is just like a bounce day or what's going on. It could potentially break 5 and then run up a bit more, and then tomorrow gap up and then run. You know, sometimes that happens when a stock will just gap up and then you'll sell off, and then the next day it'll bounce back and then, you know, go on to make higher highs. With this, as you guys can see, you know, it got overextended pretty fast there. You know, when it opened at 6, from the previous day it closed at, you know, in the 360s, 370s, and then the next day it opens at 6. And then basically pulls back down. I think there was some news on it yesterday, because it wouldn't do this big of a gap up without some solid news. So RNVA again, you know, like I said, I wasn't gonna jump in on it just because on a 1-minute setup, just because I know it's gonna be a trap. Just like how just like, you know, how recently it's already moved so much, right? And moved, you know, from low 2s all the way up to 297. It's already moved a point. So obviously it's not something that is just gonna, you know, it's not gonna do a clean 1-minute setup at this point. I mean, if it would have done a clean 1-minute setup, you know, earlier in the play when the volume first started coming in, you know, this little right here, this could have been a good entry. You know, this little flag right here, because you see the pull has volume and then the volume dropped on a pullback and then lots of volume came in. So this right here, you know, break of 265 or whatever the high was, so 265. So getting at 266, you get an instant push up to 294. So that's, you know, that's instantly about 30 cents. You know, potential 30 cents within a 1-minute candle as soon as you jump in, and that's what a lot of people did, right? They saw this flag and then they jumped in, and that's where you got this big volume and this big push. But right now I think it really needs some consolidation. You know, pull back on 5-minute down to maybe, you know, the 5 EMA or the 9 EMA. 9 EMA I think would be a bit too steep, but again, it would be nice to see that much of a pullback on low volume. Obviously we don't want to see high volume, we want to see, you know, low volume on this pullback to the 5 EMA or the VWAP, and then you know, a good 5-minute, clean 5-minute first candle to make a high can potentially run back up to high of day. But we also want to see how it looks on the 1-minute, if it's consolidated enough, whatever's right. So whatever's going on there. So we'll just be watching it. I think I'm gonna end the video here, guys. I'm gonna make a shorter video today, just because I'm not gonna be trading it anyways, and I just wanted to, you know, I just like making these videos just because I can rewatch them, you know, when I need some sort of, like, you know, what I need to switch, what I need to fix, and I can rewatch them, and then it's kind of like watching your game tapes, right? You know, there's volume coming in. Oh, just made a new high. Good 5-minute setup. 289. Yeah, just made a new high on the 5-minute, but again, I don't think it consolidated much. So I don't know what's gonna happen here. I don't know if it's gonna be able to break this or not. You know, some buyers coming in at 293, or sorry, sellers coming in at 293. This might be the same, you know, the trap that we've been seeing past a week or so, 2 weeks now, that every 5-minute setup, the first candle to make a new high, I would get in and it would just basically come back down. It wouldn't move. It wouldn't, you know, although this candle has lots of volume coming in, so it does have potential, but I still think, you know, the 5-minute setup was pretty high up. It's pretty extended, and it needs to move back a little. It needs more of a pullback. So anyways, well, thanks for watching, guys. again, hopefully by next week we'll be back in the grind, back in the the regular markets where we can take advantage of some good pullbacks, or get some good news, some good potential where the stock doesn't just gap up pre-market. Oh, it's breaking it. There you go. Just broke 3. So a stock that doesn't pre-market gap up and then just basically fades all day. We also need stocks that move pre-market for us to catch catch them, get our attention towards them, and then they give good entries or good setups during regular hours when people can a lot of traders trade them. So obviously we'll be watching for that. 5-minute setup like that, not really interested, just because it's too high up, and I've learned from past that when it's this high up, I mean, it can definitely run. The stock is definitely strong, no doubt about that. And sometimes I think that's another thing we need to realize is when a stock is strong, it will do stuff like that, right? It's just when the stock is weak, or when it just got a bit of momentum and then it just basically goes flat, and that's when you can get in on these 5-minute setups this high up or whatever, right? But obviously this stock has momentum. It's oversold, really oversold. If you look at the RSI, it was at 20, now it's in the 35s, but it was just I think 21, 22, something like that. So obviously people are buying it now. Volumes, there's lots of volume just came in on the break of 3, so that's good to see. But again, I really think for it to make a major move, like a 10 or more, like a 30, 40, 50 cent gain, I would have liked to see a better pullback. I would have liked to see it come back down, maybe to the 260s, a nice decline, and then consolidate. And then once it's done consolidating and the range gets tighter, then it should have exploded like that, and then break 3. That would have been awesome. That would have been awesome to see, get in the low 270s, 260s, a nice little consolidation. I just think with this consolidation, it wasn't long enough. But obviously the market has its own mind, and we can't do anything about it. So it's the unknown. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully this adds some sort of value to your trading. And if it does, please leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.